And we should be live. Oh my god. What is up, YouTube? The biggest flexer of the internet is back. We back at it again. 4PF for life, gang. You know how it be like. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We back. We got Putin on the left, and we got Suzu on the wait. Suzu, CZ on the left. Holy shit, not Suzu. CZ. Chow's. I don't know. I don't know what his name is. But oh shit, I have. All right. Oops. Oopsie. Anyways, fucking hell. All right, but yeah, vibes immaculate as per the usual. The usual, chilling. Good morning. Throw up some fours. When I saw this picture of Putin, I was like, no shot, no shot, bro. Bro is him. Bro is like that. He's gang. Holy shit! The coup that lasted a whole day. Like it's funny. Like I mentioned it yesterday. I was like, I have no idea what's going on, but it seems interesting. But also could be like complete bullshit. Could be complete psyops, and it just completely over. Like I was like so confused by the whole thing, and now it's already done. Shit. Faster than the Titanic news cycle. Oh my god, my camera just fucking died on me. But yeah, let's fucking get into the shit. Wait, let me fix the camera. Let's get into the crypto news. All right, well I gotta reactivate. All right, let's get into the crypto news. So actually, we'll get in the charts first. So weekly, same thing, but we get the close tonight. This is a very powerful close. We stay above this the first red line I have, which is 30,300. That's a very good line to stay above because that is the highest close in the weekly since the Luna crash, which is a very, very, very good sign. But we're still in this purple area, so we do still want to get above that. Any close on the weekly above 32 is basically a guarantee in my book to 38 to somewhere in this range, but I would expect more like the lower side, 36 to 38. We'll talk about some targets on the 5 day. So 5 day, the close happened about a day, or it happened yesterday. Again, very good close. 5 day just began, and we're also getting a wick to the downside, which is a very good sign. If we do get like a little wick to the downside, let's say 29.5. Like I mean, I'm calling for like consolidation, maybe down 29.5, but just a little bit wick down before we get like a fucking god candle up 20%. And the reason why I say that is because usually you like to have a little wick down, just for price action to cover the whole area. And as long as you get that a little bit, it's usually a good sign. But in general, again, very bullish signs. Volatility, as per the usual, very low. We're bullish as long as we're above. All right, well, I need to fucking load in, but we're bullish as long as we're above 26.6. So, I mean, that's a pretty 26.7. So that's a pretty easy thing to hold above. To be honest, though, we just want to hold above like 28.5, 29.5 because anywhere below that does imply this doesn't become a bull trap, and that's a very bad sign if this becomes a bull trap. Today, same thing. We're gonna break up. We're still in this move volatility wise. I do think it's still 26 as a pivot. Daily, we're probably consolidating. So the pivot's 38 is 30.8, and that is a very high pivot. So I would expect a little bit of a pullback or more I would expect sideways on the daily for a few days. I mean, sideways the expectation, but we are entering on the jewel into the blue zone. And if we do, what ends up happening a lot of times when we enter the blue zone is if we do end up continuing hard. So if you look back here, we enter the blue zone up here, and then we end up continuing another 25%. Even here after we entered the blue zone, even though we didn't, we ended up just going sideways before having one last drive up. So the blue zone isn't necessarily a bad sign, but it is a sign that we should start to get moving. But if we do get moving, we are going to have a very, very nice move. And even here, I do think we could play out something like here, but I do expect this to be a lot more violent to the upside. I don't expect it to be sideways for 21 days before moving up 8% and then down 8%. I don't really find that to be the probable scenario because you are seeing these higher term time frames a lot more bullish than back here. So especially like here at this point, we aren't as I mean to be fair, volatility was lower. So this one I do expect to play out more like this one than this one because here we were consolidating for a little bit, for actually quite a while, for like literally the past year like where we didn't go above 50%. Meanwhile, this time we did go above 50. We're at 70% on the volatility, and then since then we've been pretty much since like I guess this move we've been pretty much going sideways the last 2-3 months. So I do expect this to be a lot more violent, like this move back here in January, and then I do expect this to be a final move. So I mean, if you let's what's that one thing called? There's a wait. I think if I Elliott, there is like something like I don't really married to Elliott wave theory. I don't really care about it. But if you think of it like an Elliott wave theory, I would expect like one more move to like 35 because I mean this is like a pretty standard move. I don't really subscribe to that, but this does look like a pretty if you just need another point of confirmation in data, this does seem like a pretty standard move where your big move is this middle move here, 40%. But this was also like a 39%, and then this will be another like 39% move, which will get you to 34. I do think this is more violent, again, to the upside, especially with all the recent news. But just another bias confirmation. Daily, so 12-hour probably already started to come down. I would expect this to. I mean, I would expect this to go sideways, but again, I think higher term time frames do take effect here, and I do think we end up being a lot more bullish. 5-day, by the way, volatility is above 10% now. So if on this close we stay above 10%, this is a very, very good sign. And it's basically a confirmation that of this move that volatility has expanded. All right, 1 hour. 1 hour. I mean, trend is up. You really can't be bearish on any of these time frames because trend is up. 4 hour looks like it's gonna pull back a little bit, but volatility is. I also mentioned like literally back here. I expect volatility to come all the way down over the weekend and before our next move up. 12-hour. Meanwhile, I expect to come down a little bit, and then we kind of do like one of these where we literally go like this. I literally mentioned this. It's literally my clip in on my Twitter, so you can literally see it. I do expect something more like that on the 12-hour. And oops. So 4 hour, we are starting to see it play out. We are seeing volatility come all the way down. We are having a mix of hidden bullish and uh like normal bearish divergence, and that is usually a sign that we are consolidating. It doesn't really give any bias to direction, but it does show that we are in a little bit of consolidation because we are putting lower highs and higher lows at the same time. So it's a little bit of a formation. So just like we're just gonna keep consolidating. I would expect at least into Monday. Maybe we get a move up Monday, maybe Tuesday. I'm not too sure about those days though, but I would expect by Wednesday, Thursday we start moving up if we are playing out the bullish higher term time frame scenario. Yeah, 1 hour we've pretty much fully consolidated. We're back at the EMAs. Volatility probably comes all the way down tonight in anticipation for the stock market tomorrow. Should probably look at the stock market also. And then 30-minute 15, same exact thing. We're just going super sideways. Nothing super interesting. It was kind of tradable, but it's a weekend. I really stay away from weekends. I don't really believe in even looking at the chart on the weekend, other than like higher term time frames. If we go to what's it called? There we go. Velo data. Nothing super interesting. Open interest has come down actually quite a lot. So open interest come down like 6%. To the bottom was like 9. At this point we're kind of going sideways. Uh, there is really no bias on long or short here. I would expect us to like break up, but I really have no like significant bias in a direction yet. So personally, I'm staying out of trading against the weekends. So weekends aren't very clear. They're more about liquidating whoever requires max pain. uh, Eric Crown. So he was talking about looking at past breakouts of the Gaussian channel. A likelihood target is around 36K. So I don't know if you know this, but a lot of my trading is designed off of crowns. And I mean, he's looking at the Gaussian channel. I personally don't really care for it, but I mean, statistically, so I mean, again, at the end of the day, this is a statistics game. And is this the 5-day or the weekly that he has? This is the weekly chart, I believe. I just want to make sure. Yeah. So on the weekly chart, we closed here, which I'm mentioning like above these like red levels, which are pretty much very similar. No, for him it's 29. So as long as we close above like 29 for him in his scenario, which we're almost definitely going to do tonight, usually ends up in a 30% move. And what usually ends up happening actually is What usually ends up happening is here. Let me get a blank chart. Let me go to the weekly on here. What usually ends up happening after one of these moves. So let me hide all indicators. All right. What you'll usually see is we're gonna break up. We're gonna get our 30% move. So what is that? Oops. What is that from here? 30%, yeah, so like that. So we're gonna get our like 30% move pretty fast, and then we're gonna come down like 30-40% again, and maybe even lower, like 30 40, like back to like, let's say this level, and then we put it, and then we make our next move. That's what we usually see. So if you're looking at it back here from the bottom, we ended up going in 2017. We ended up going up about 280% from the bottom here. We're already up 80. I would expect us to get all the way up to like 130 to 150, somewhere in that area, which is my 38. Let's say 38, which is what I expect. So 150%. And then we ended up coming down another 50%, 40%. And that happens historically with the Gaussian channel we're showing, where usually once we break above it, we end up retesting it. And right now the Gaussian channel still, I don't really have it open. I don't plan on opening the indicator, but it just kind of like showing it in another way how we usually go up from the bottom, we break above it, and then we end up retesting it before we're actually macro bullish. So we're going to retest it, go down like 40%, fake everybody out, and that'll be the bottom. Now, of course, here we did have COVID, but I don't really count this. I think COVID was kind of bullshit, and I think we would have just continued up and sideways from here. Maybe even been more ahead of schedule if it wasn't for COVID. Actually, no, COVID printed a lot of money. So it may not be more ahead of schedule, but we definitely would have been like more like sideways, and but not like super bearish than the way it ended up being. I just realized my AC is on, so it'll keep bothering me. So I'm just gonna turn it off. But yeah, so that's a scenario I expect to play out on the higher term time frame. I'm gonna delete all this and go back to re-put everything back. So yeah, like short term time frames, I expect more sideways next 2 days. So yeah, so what's my recap? My recap overall is I think shorter term time frames we end up going sideways until Wednesday, maybe, but by Wednesday Thursday I do expect we'll start making our move up, and then higher term time frames I do think take effect, and we do end up getting a move to like 38, 39. So pretty simple, nothing super insane. Let's move on from that. So wifey has her wifey. Oh, well, wifey's a him, I guess. So they have their DGen dashboard. They're calling it DGen dashboard, but the wifey dashboard's coming out in like July, August, and basically it's kind of like a trend. So coal mine canary is like super low time frame, short term. So it's like less than 2 weeks. Short term is more like about 2 months, like 2 weeks to 2 months, and then long term is like 2 months to a year, something like that. So I mean, if you're looking at trend overall, I mean, this is basically just EMAs, right? So I talk about EMAs all the time, where if you're above the EMAs and the EMAs crossed up, then we're trending up, and vice versa, below trending down. So it's kind of just like another way to visualize it without the EMAs, but it's pretty much the exact same thing as EMAs, or like exponential moving averages or moving averages, where we do have some sort of trend. If you were reading this, you aren't bullish enough. Graphic soon. Brent is spitting facts. I absolutely agree. You are not bullish enough. No matter what you think is going on, you are not bullish enough for now. And then we're gonna get 38, and then everybody's gonna be super bullish, and everybody's gonna start calling for all-time highs, and we're gonna reject. I'm calling it right now. Calling it right now. David Sachs. So I mean, this is the war. Let's talk about the war. Let's talk about shout out my liberal ass to me. My boy Putin. Putting these nuts in your mouth, yes sir. And you don't kill me. I'm just a troll on the internet. I'm all right. Putin, do not hate me, please. Anyways, so David Sachs is talking about how it's funny how everybody want. So basically, with the Russian coup, everybody was like, holy shit, change of power, yada yada yada. And David Sachs was basically keeping quiet and just watching. And I think he tweeted, "We're watching how the situation progresses," or whatever, or somebody tweeted that. And then now that's all over, he's just kind of clowning everybody because they were all like demanding to know his opinion, and now they've all gone silent because there's nothing to talk about anymore. The thing is over, and the thing is here's a quick video of how the thing is over. Look, it's a Wagner group, and the CIA funding them, And look, it's the Russian army, and they all stop. 6.2 billion richer. That part obviously is. Anyways, I thought it was funny. I thought it was pretty funny portrayment of Russia and what the whatever the fuck is going on right now there. So overall, what does this have to do with Bitcoin price? Absolutely nothing. That's the secret. That's the clickbait secret. But shout out my label that to me, yes sir. And wait, I had something written down in my notes. Let me pull this up. Oh wait, all right, that's for later. That's for later. I just remembered I had something written down, but all right. Something interesting. This is more just general news. Apparently, Mr. Beast might have been on that Titanic boat submarine, but he ended up not going on it. And yeah, that would have been pretty scary if he was on it. All right, RFK Jr., the absolute goat. Bro is shredded. Bro is like me. Bro is big. Bro, look at bro doing that workout in the sun. Ooh, look at him bench 105. Hey, for benching 105 is quite a. It's really not that insane of a weight, but he's. I mean, obviously, it's whatever these benches are called, but I do about that weight, so I don't know how to feel about it. However, I mean, and definitely, how tall is RFK actually? RFK height. I'm curious. He's 5'10". All right, so he's like an inch and a half taller than me. So he's about my height, but bro looks big. Have you seen a picture of him? Like, look how big bro looks. So I gotta get jacked like him. I gotta get like absolutely massive. Like obviously my bench is like more, but for an elevated bench, like that's a pretty good weight. But everybody was hating, but bro looks massive. At the same time, he's 70 years old, so stop hating on him for his weight. But bro looks actually insane. So respect to him. All right, Loomdart talking. All right, let's talk more crypto. Let's focus back on the crypto. We're gonna talk some like regulatory, but let's start with Loomdart wholesomeness. We know everyone and everything is going more and more digital. We know the world's wealthiest companies are building towards this future. We know crypto is the only true form of assetization in this virtual world. People need to stop analyzing with a microscope and zoom out. Spit in facts. I mean, if you look at Ivan talking about crypto, it's all about will people end up using this technology, and the thing is, people probably will use this technology because it's true internet currency designed to be completely pseudo anonymous or potentially anonymous and can be built into anything on the web internet without being censored. Versus something like a CBDC where the government can just take control of your money anytime. So it's only true form of internet money that represents the internet, a a network that allows everyone to access and use it. So, at the end of the day, stop looking at the short term time frame, and like Lin likes to say, like Fu likes to say, just zoom out. Look, you're playing like a 3 to 5 year game, and just play the longer game, and just pick coins that you think are gonna perform well in the long run. Don't care about their price action in the next day, in the next week, in the next month. You want to pick things that will do good over the next years and that you think have potential over the next years. And even if or that you think you can make money and then exit on them, but you want to play the long game, and eventually everything will get tokenized. Stocks will get tokenized. Your D2 house might get NFT tokenized. I don't know about that one too much, but your keys might get tokenized. I don't know about that one as well, but there's so much potential in crypto, and the financial world the whole goal of the financial world is just to become more and more efficient, and crypto is that next step into efficiency. And so you might as well just be focused on it, because at the end of the day, that's going to be the next most efficient version of assets. All right, that was my little rant. Is the Fed willing to trigger a recession to get inflation down 2%? Powell, our goals are price stability and maximum employment. What does that mean? As long as people need to get jobs because inflation is high and they will have to get jobs, we could very well see a market crash as long as there's still jobs, which there are plenty of jobs for people to get. And it is a big risk. However, At the end of the day, I think we're going to crash. I think high inflation almost always, or not high inflation, high interest rates almost always end in a little bit of a recession. And I do think we see a Q4 crash, as I keep saying. We are starting to see the stock market pull back, and we are seeing people call for new all-time highs in the stock market, and like calling that, oh my god, it's a brand new bull run and all that. And to be fair, I agree. We have trended up. Trend is up technically, and this looks like a very bullish chart. And so right now, I won't disagree that. All right, I think the more likely scenario is we continue up. However, in the scenario we where liquidity becomes so locked up and so tight that we do end up getting a crash, then that Q4 crash is actually fairly likely. And Chamath Palihapitiya is another person who's also calling for that crash, as well as there's a lot of data indicates that it will happen. And I would say the upside is relatively capped until that risk of liquidity tightening isn't as big. And I think we are in a little bit of a bubble as well, because we have seen a lot of AI companies absolutely pop off, and it's brought a lot of liquidity back to the market. But I do think this does end up being the top, and I do think this is like an insane bull trap that, like, obviously, like, there's no confirmation this is a bull trap and we're in an uptrend. But if we do start seeing closes below 4,100 and we do prove that this is a bull trap, so like this red line right here, then it becomes very, very scary for the stock market, and crypto will also be affected by it, of course. And that kind of plays into my end of year, where I do think crypto does that pullback down to 24 after it goes all the way to 38, and then I think 24 is possible, especially with a Q4 crash in the stock market. Now, obviously, we need confirmations for this, and we're not even close to confirming. And until then, this is more like just a thesis or a theory, and there's right now you should just be long and you should just be waiting. But when you do get long, you should be looking to take profits, because I do think there's a little bit of risk. And if we do start to confirm on the downside that all these things are bull traps, then you should be like looking to get out ASAP, and then just sit out until everything doesn't look as shitty anymore. Barenberg predicts the US SEC Gov may shift its focus to stablecoins and DeFi. With Tether and Center IO's USDC in sight, could we expect a significant impact in Coinbase's revenue? Now, my issue with this is that literally Powell was like, stablecoins have more to do with us, the Fed, than it has to do with the SEC. Now, DeFi will have a lot of security issues. Like, for example, Pendle, I'm pretty sure, like, it's one of my bigger investments in my portfolio here, but Pendle is definitely a security. Or, I don't know if it's definitely security, let me not say that, but there are some risks involved with it as a security, as there, I think there is with a lot of the tokens. So, just always be careful out there, but I'm bullish Pendle, but regardless. I think they will come after DeFi a little bit, or try to, but I think DeFi will be very bullish at the same time, because the whole point of DeFi is that the government cannot regulate it. So, because it's on chain, and as long as something's fully on chain, just like BetSwirl, my favorite token BetSwirl, fully on chain gambling, by the way, if you're ever curious and you want to gamble on chain fully, and not, by the way, I'm not sponsored, not financial advice, but you can't, like, these fully on chain DeFi protocols, the whole point of them is that you can't ban them because they're on the network. And all you can do is tell people not to use them, but people can still use them. And at the end of the day, what are they going to do? They're either going to come after the people, which sounds so difficult and so unreasonable. Because they can't come after the protocol, because the protocols are just going to be there. So, I don't know, it seems like a very messy situation that they're going to not be able to get anything done with. Fuck, I just spilled water. I'm retarded. Alright. I'm mentally redacted, as they be saying. My favorite pussy destroyer, BBB, is like, Pepe will be done when it's 100x 2 years from now. Actually, I'm curious, what is Pepe market cap? Let me find that. Pepe. Where is it? Oh, there we go. Trending. Just want to see its market cap. But FDV 600, so 60 billion market cap. That's honestly not even an insane evaluation. That is something that's possible. So I wouldn't even put that. I wouldn't even mark that as like all the way out there. So honestly, interesting take. Not financial advice. Very possible. Let's move on. Let's just talk about the markets at this point. So I mean, it's a weekend. Everything's gonna be sideways. Aave is up insanely. Look, Aave, Synthetics, Uniswap, PancakeSwap, DYDX. What do all these have in common? Please inform me. They're all DeFi protocols. I'm calling for like a DeFi bull run for like a minute now, and you see all these DeFi protocols up insanely over the last 24 hours. And it's actually funny because all my holdings are basically DeFi, but much smaller casts with more potential, in my opinion. But literally, Aave, Synthetics are DeFi, and then Uniswap, PancakeSwap, DYDX are all exchanges. So very interesting. Just putting that out there. What's down? We have all the meme coins and all like the really shitty coins that have no value that pumped insanely are now mean mean reverting back. But I say mean reverting as though they're not up all of them on the weekly like insane numbers. So I guess we'll see how that ends up. Let's go to the watch list. So let's see what's up. So yeah, we're seeing quick up another Dex. That's the Dex on Polygon on Matic. Radix. Something's up. Probably everything's sideways. Something's down. Look, GameFi, Metaverse down. Not surprising. Everything's pretty much sideways. On the weekly, let's just get a recap of our week. Some gaming up. Some DeFi up. Nothing super insane. Thorchain back above $1. Congratulations to Rune. Rune literally broke generational. Let me pull up the Rune chart really quickly. Rune broke. Do I even have it anymore? No, I have it. Rune literally broke. Oops. Regular. They broke generational lows. Look, this was like key resistance that I marked all the way back here in August 21, and we broke it in the bear, which is insane to me. It's like an insane resistance line. Now we're retesting it. Goddamn, we're retesting $1 in Rune. Send that fucking chart to 0. Send it to negative numbers. That shit is down only. Goddamn. I still fuck with the project, but holy shit, did they like fuck shit up if they are going that low. The exact inverse of the Bitcoin chart since for the last year now, half a year. Actually, let me not close this. All right, so let's get into our DCA portfolio. So officially, we are day 17 now. So I don't know what 17 times 40 is, but we're about to find out what that is. 17 times 40, that's 680. Well, all right. Well, I haven't put. All right, so as of yesterday, technically yesterday was 16. So day 16 times. Oh, I can't do math. 16 times 40. I'm like looking at that. I'm like that number doesn't make sense. It's 640. And then so we were up $60. So again, about like up like 8%. Slightly underperformed Bitcoin on everything. On ETH, big caps and micro caps. ETH especially lagging behind, and micro caps are kind of just a higher beta of ETH at the end of the day. Let's just DCA really quickly. So $10 in Bitcoin. Oops, that is not $10. 6, 5, 4, 3. All right, $10 in Bitcoin. Let's get $10 in ETH. Eventually, ETH is just gonna 3x in like a week, but until that happens, it's gonna go sideways. There we go. Add transaction. All right, so what is my big cap pick of the day? My big cap pick of the day is Axelar. Technically, Axelar is not a... I don't consider it a big cap. I consider big caps top 100 coins, but I'm going to adjust this big cap to be big and medium caps because I do want to like put it into my big cap portfolio without it technically being a big cap. You understand what I'm saying? Basically, like, these are all top 100 coins right now, and I don't want to only get top 100 coins. I don't... like, I want to... Yeah, good, insane math. And I don't consider, like, I do think it has the same potential as a lot of these other big cap coins. I don't know. Like, there's not enough coins at top 100 that I like, and I do want to add some more coins, but I don't want to put Axelar in my microcap because it's not a microcap. It's, like, fairly big, so I'm just going to put it in my big cap. So it's big and medium cap now. I'm not going to really explain in depth. Now, let me explain Axelar. So why is Axelar my big cap pick of the day? Axelar is a cross-chain, so it's a decentralized network that allows for cross-chain applications through its protocol suite tools and APIs. It allows for cross-chain connectivity. Now, where did I find out about Axelar? I found out about it because apparently Uniswap are using them. So Axelar are basically competition for layer 0, and layer 0 are going to be absolutely massive, and everybody knows that, and a lot of protocols are using layer 0. So whenever the layer 0 airdrop launches, we'll probably see layer 0 as a top 10, maybe not top 10, but definitely a top 20 token. It's very possible that it's that big, and very probable that's that big. And if we're seeing Uniswap use Axelar, which is a competition for layer 0, I think the layer 0 launch could end up causing a pump for Axelar and other competition. And Axelar are also being literally used by Uniswap. So I do think Axelar do have a lot of upside and there definitely is a scenario where a lot of people talk about it as like competition. So that is my big cap pick of the day. 24.25. There we go. Add transaction. Now my microcap pick of the day. What is that? So I'm going to close Axelar. So my microcap pick of the day is Level Finance. It is, I've mentioned it a few times now. So I already put $20 in it. I guess I'm break even right now. And I do want to add more to Level Finance because I think they're at in general a very good evaluation. I am worried that they do have a lot of fully diluted market cap value, and that does worry me. However, I'm pretty sure a lot of those tokens are going to be released in like competition, in like trading competitions and other incentives in order for people to trade on the network, which is a little bit bearish on the price long term or short term. But overall, I am very bullish this project long term. Lynn mentions this project a few times, so I'm just gonna say like LGO Low Finance more attractive than ever. And here's a few links that Lynn was sharing. So LVL closed a 20 million strategic investment by a 9-figure asset management firm. Will occur in tranches. 1-year lockup, spot TWAP. Entirely the proceeds add to the Dow Treasury LGO. So this management company is looking to acquire 20 million stake in the project. So you can front run that because we know about that. And how do level tokens work? Level tokens are effectively the long-term fee owners of the platform of the future. LGO is redeemable for the treasury, which represents the sum of a continuous income stream forever. The most efficient way to get LGO is through LVL. You basically want these long-term fees, and if you do believe the product, if you do believe the protocol is going to continue growing in the future, and you do believe it has potential, then which I think it does, especially in a bull run, especially where you should be bullish perp dexes because people are trying to get off exchanges and want to hold their own keys. I do think this project does have a lot of potential in that. As well as phase 2 of, I already mentioned this when this happened a few days back, but just a reminder, phase 2 of the Arbitrum launch has been deployed. They have loyalty rewards, trading ladder, and a full dashboard. So again, Level Finance is on Arbitrum in case you didn't know that. And I believe they're on BNB also, but you can use them, and I quite enjoy using them like they're basically like GMX, and so just overall very bullish project and a lot of news coming out. So yeah, that was my rant on LVL. Nice math. $10. Nice. So overall, we are officially day 17 in, which is $680. We are up about 60 on the portfolio. So let's do 60 divided by 680. What's the percentage? So yeah, about 8.8%. Nothing insane. It's actually pretty bad. What is Bitcoin up overall? Bitcoin is up 12% in the portfolio, which is decent, but that means overall I'm underperforming Bitcoin, and it's not a good sign. But we are seeing ETH and the microcaps lag behind a lot, and even the big caps overall. If you're not a meme coin, or your name isn't Litecoin, Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Cash, Pepe Coin. If you're not like one of those 4 coins, or Stacks is the 5th one, then you probably haven't done well, because those are all coins that are like, I know, but I'm saying like those are all coins that are higher beta on Bitcoin overall, because they are exactly, it's a rotation. I know, I'm about to explain it, but but those are all coins that are higher beta on Bitcoin, like historically. And at the end of the day, you're looking to play rotations into the alts, and what ends up happening is you have Bitcoin, and then you have ETH pump like crazy, and ETH do like a 2-3x, and then you have, and then once ETH starts pumping, you see all the big caps like also like appreciate alongside ETH, and all the micros come right after. That becomes like truly degenerate market. We're gonna see like 5-6x's on all coins within like a month long period, a 2 month long period. So the whole goal right now in this portfolio is just to prepare for all these stages without trying to time it. It's way too difficult for you as an individual to go out and be like, all right, Bitcoin's done pumping. Now all the money's going to go into ETH, and then all the money's going to go to big caps and small caps. It's very hard to do that. But as long as you're allocated for all these scenarios, then you can catch all these moves and you can look to exit out of all of them at the appropriate times. So, yeah, that was a little bit of me talking. Those are my alts. Oh yeah, and one last thing with Level, their total assets are continuing their rapid growth. In the last 2 weeks, $7.7 million in assets, $43 million in volume, and $116,000 in fees. There's plenty of opportunity here as Arbitrum only makes up around 4% of all activity for Level Finance. Yes, very Bula. Very Bula Level Finance. So yeah, that was me talking. Damn, I've been talking a lot today. I've actually been live for like 38 minutes. I've been just like talking like crazy. All right. Or 35 minutes. So Fuddies are dropping. Fuck. And this is why. I figured out why they're going down. Because they started an Alfie's dating life, so if you need some dating advice, you can go to him. But this is why we're going to zero, because of the dating advice. They're launching too many new products, too many innovative products that like nobody's ready for. Nobody in the crypto or the NFT world is ready for, especially like dating advice. Like nobody's ready for this. And so we were pumping into the news that people would get their dating advice, and now that people have gotten their advice and they no longer need any more advice because Fuddies have solved all of your issues, they're selling their Fuddies and setting it to zero. So yeah, that's my explanation on why Fuddies are going to zero right now. Moving on, Pudgy Penguins sideways, nothing super interesting. And yes, in the NFT world, literally nothing has happened since yesterday. Of course, Alfie's a Pudgy. Fact. W Alfie for having a Pudgy Penguin, my daily Pudgy Penguin advertisement. And then Sparkadia, congratulations to Fnatic for winning the first ever Sparkball Invitational and taking home $8,000 and the first ever skin for Sparkball. If whatever, so also apparently they launched a cinematic trailer, so let's just go watch that actually really quickly. I'm talking about Sparkball a lot recently, but this tournament was cool. They had some insane teams. And after this, I'm probably not gonna talk about them for a while because I think the news cycle's kind of over for now. But actually, wait, their alpha's coming out in like in a month. Never mind. Good on them. Solid cinematic so far. I have no idea what the fuck is going on, but solid cinematic. Alright, that was not 30 FPS and it bothers me. This reminds me of... Wait, the volume's really high, so I'm just gonna pause it for a second. But this reminds me of, like, the first Spider-Man movie, not, like, the first Into the Spider-Verse movie, where, like, it wasn't, like, 30 FPS, and then the new one was 30 FPS. This isn't 30 FPS, and it bothers me like crazy. But they're just showing off the characters, I guess. I don't really think this is a true cinematic. This isn't hype enough. I'm actually kind of disappointed. There needs more hype. We need more hype. It can't be so wholesome. We need toxicity out here. Look, I love wholesome, but in a video game, it's all about toxicity. Wholesomeness does not work in video games. That's what I've discovered. Not long term. But I guess we're going to find out. World Spark Studios. Alright, welcome to Sparkadia. Very nice. So yeah, I think that's all I had to talk about. I ranted a lot about some alts, some tokens. But, yeah, and not a lot of news in the NFTs and gaming. Like, literally nothing today. In terms of NFTs and gaming. Overall, markets sideways. I would expect sideways again Monday, Tuesday. I think stock market ends up pulling back those days also. And then we'll end up just pushing up due to more, like, ridiculous news. And also, fundamentally, crypto's an up-only market. Because of Bitcoin dominances. Yeah, 51.67. Goddamn. So, I think that's it. Anything I missed, Ryan? Anything I need to talk about? Solid 42 minutes. Went through everything. Shout out my label, that's me. Yeah, it's a weekend. I hit fucking what I hit today. I hit bicep, back and bicep, and I hit chest and tricep yesterday. And tomorrow I'm gonna hit shoulders probably if I go to the gym. Feeling massive. Like my arms really don't look that big, but they look like the size of my head low key also. So I blame the camera. Fucking insane, insane. Dan the big man, not Dan the op man. Dan the big man. We don't got no ops around here. Shout out to Ock, give me a bev. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna head out. Gonna make some clips. I don't really know what else I'm gonna do. It's a Sunday. Take it easy, take a nap. Enjoy it with your family. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. Spend it with your family or with your friends or something. Be wholesome, as per usual. I might preach toxicity in video games, but always be wholesome. It's the savior of happiness and stuff. But yeah, that's